This is Garrett Fry, the 3D digital map painting sequence lead for the construction site sequence, and we're taking a look at shot 632. So let's go ahead and play that. So you can see we start down low and we pan up into this view of this construction site. And there's several open areas that we're going to want to fill in with construction site material. But we're going to want to do it in a way that makes sense. So you look at this this particular shot, and you can see that there's all of this like metal rebar that's reinforcing these cement walls that are going to be poured into this area. And so it would be nice to be able to go through the photo library and pick things that would be applicable to this state of the construction. So, and then to place things in areas that really make sense. So like in this area here, you can see that there's marks from this, earth moving equipment. So, if you put something back here that actually was the equipment that moved this earth, then that really makes sense. And it seems appropriate for the placement and the subject matter. For this area. So also you can see here that, there's been some, scraping, maybe some manual scraping of this stuff away from the rebarb here, this wall that's going to be there. And so maybe if you put some rakes or something there, that would make sense. Also something to consider is how wet this environment is. Like it's just rained or it's rained a couple hours ago, and you can see that there's some areas that have already dried and some areas that are already wet, which makes for a really interesting environment when you're placing things in it. You can see on the back wall there's wet right here, wet right here. It's pooling up on the top here. And something to consider is that some things are going to dry faster than other things. So like the metal and these plastic bags are probably pretty dry unless there's like little pools of water on there. And so if you're going to be putting something like wood or something like that, you may want to take that wood and make it look wet. And you can look on some reference online to see what things look like when they're wet, or you can look at what's on here. Right here in the plate. So you can see like this piece of wood right here, there's a little wet spot right there. It's a little bit darker, a little more saturated. It's going to be like in the nooks and crannies of it. So that's kind of like where the water is kind of pooled a little bit, and it's a little more wet in that on that bottom side, or where the joints are coming together. And the great thing about this particular shot is that you have some built-in perspective lines all right here ready for you. And so when you're putting your objects in this scene, you can really just kind of nail the perspective of those things. And just a little quick tip on that. When you're doing that, just bring something in really quickly and then check to see if the perspective matches, because you could go, oh, wow, this box looks really good right here, but as soon as I move that box to this place over here, it doesn't work anymore. So what you can do is you can just, if you got a large photo library, which you do with this sequence, you just come in, drop in a photo, see if it works. No, it doesn't work. Drop in another photo, see if it works. Oh, no, that doesn't work. And drop in another. Just keep doing that over and over again until you find some photo reference that just kind of gets you most of the way there. That's how you're going to make your work go really fast. Before you jump into your shot, it's a good idea to review the library of construction site materials. Do a bunch of quick matte painting tests by dragging photos into your shot and doing quick integrations. You will soon be able to discern the appropriate reference you should use for your shot.